Greetings from home, dear ones. You are on a path of joy. We have watched as many of you have started to evolve in so many different ways. And this day we wish to tell you, you have a very unique light. And your light is often been missing from the world around you. That is what we're asking all of you to do in this time that we have together. For you have changed planet Earth drastically, and it is changing moment by moment. Not little adjustments. These are major shifts that you are making on your planet. And all of them have the capability of returning you closer to that which you know as home, to the energy of where you came from that you can live in every day of your lives. Now, we've given you the illustration and the understanding that each of you have a unique puzzle piece. Each of you have something unique, and many times a person can't find where they belong. They don't know where they are because somebody else is holding a puzzle piece, and you almost need some of those surrounding puzzle pieces to know where your place is in the world. And that's one of the reasons, dear ones, that many feel lost. Every single one of you, to some degree, knows who you are and what you came with. What you don't always know is where it goes in the world, or how to use it, how to work with it, how to offer it up in a certain way. Now, why is that important? Well, so many times, dear ones, people have come into planet Earth with the greatest intents, with sometimes the greatest gifts, and the most wonderful message of empowerment for many people, only to find out that as they expressed their visions from home, it came out in human forms. We love the one called Meg. She talks about speaking human, speaking animal, speaking plants. We love that. That is perfect. All of you speak many of the languages, and yet probably the strangest one for all of you is human. Human is the most challenging of all of the pieces that you see, and every day you are learning different ways of moving through it. Now, it is no secret to tell you that planet Earth has evolved, is still in a rapid state of evolution. That is part of the reason that is causing all this frustration and this change. Now, please don't equate the two overly, because they're not. Sometimes you need motivation to start you moving, and sometimes that's a little bit of the frustration that we also see blanketing planet Earth right now. The only thing we ask you to do is to tap into that piece that you brought from home. You have a unique part, a unique understanding, a unique truth, which you have brought from home. And what you don't understand is that planet Earth needs your light right now. That is the reality of this whole process. That's why everyone is doing something, just to do something, just to put themselves out of sitting on the sidelines and getting into action. That is perfect. And yet, if everyone hasn't started to put their piece down, you may not know where your puzzle piece goes. And that's very frustrating, because you know you came in with something incredibly important, and yet it doesn't seem to be supported by humanity, even though you've learned to speak human. Can't quite find your way through it. That is what is taking place many times. So what we are telling you in their time together right now is for you to grab that part deep in your heart that you know from home. Whether you hear it from someone else, whether it comes in as a channel, whether you read it in a book, you see it on television, makes no difference, because we speak to you in all of those ways and many more. There are many opportunities for you to find that next stepping stone, that next piece that you need to launch yourself in a different way. Now, is it necessary that all of you launch yourselves and become the profound teachers which you truly are? No, that's not necessary. What's needed is for you to speak that puzzle piece that you brought from home. Now, here's one of the major challenges with that. Most of you brought in many of them. Or most of you have not only brought in a singular piece which was incredibly important to your spirit to bring in and offer on planet Earth during this incarnation, but during your path, during your travels, during your experiences on Earth, you've also picked up other truths. So you have a little challenge about which one is the one they're talking about. What should I do? Should I just start speaking all the... There, now you have it. Just start speaking. Do something. That's the idea. Because once you put yourself into motion, spirit can get behind you. If you do not move, even if spirit is behind you, there is no way for you to distribute the incredible energy that you brought or the incredible energy that spirit has to give through you. These are the times now to let your voice be heard in a special way. What is that way? Well, what is happening right now is people are waiting until they are so incredibly pushed down, and we tell you there is a dense energy on planet Earth that is caused by all these incredible waves of fear, part of what happens with Earth. And during that density, everyone feels compressed. Everyone feels as if they can't quite speak their truth, or they can't even get in touch with it, or they're not quite sure it's really a truth. Now, that is a shame, because many of you spent many lifetimes teaching this truth to others, only to be able to bring it back at the critical junction of right now. So, what we ask you to do is watch your words as they come out of your mouth. And try to speak in a way that not only touches your passion, but also allows space for other truths. For that is what you're missing. If a person is to take their puzzle piece and put it on a blank board as being the very first part of the puzzle that goes down for everything else to work around that, in reality, if that's the case, you are completely guessing at where it goes. Is that a problem? Not really. The problem would be if you don't put the piece down in the first place. Because then other people can't start working around you. So what takes place when you just blindly put your piece down right in the middle and you say, I don't know if it goes here, but here it is, and this is my truth. And we'll make space for others. So what happens is people start building around your truth. And over a short period of time, you can see a larger truth. You can start to see the picture that's in the puzzle. And then you move the whole puzzle a little bit so it fits in the right place. None of which would have been possible if everyone else was waiting for everyone else to put their puzzle piece down. This is a time to learn to speak human. This is a time to learn to speak completely from the heart. Now, does that mean that the others are invalid? No, of course not. You are whole beings in all those aspects, and you are part of the trees. You are part of the animal kingdom. You're part of the earth herself. So in reality, just by expressing even the smallest piece, and of course, sometimes you are the voice of the animals. Sometimes you are the voice of the trees and the plants. And sometimes you're the voice of the earth herself. All of these are feeling this dense compression. Every bird in the sky, every rock on planet Earth is feeling this compression right now. And we'll tell you it's not even wrong. It is leading you to the next level of vibration. And all we're asking you to do is to calm down a bit. Make your speaking in a manner to where you can speak and make room for many others. Not that this needs to be right and this needs to be wrong. This can be one way to find your way home, and yet there are many others, are there not? That is a new energy that is not seen much on planet Earth right now. And we also tell you that you are going through many political adjustments. A lot of different reasons for this. We will not get into the details of it or the particulars of it because those are not important. What is happening is humanity has shifted incredibly and feels the need to change everything around it. Every human has a little bit of that. Now, sometimes that means simply throwing something out because it was old and not part of the new. Well, you decide where you go with your game, dear ones. There are shortcuts. There are many opportunities during these times. And we tell you there are many times also where you have opportunities to bring that part of the puzzle into the equation. Do you have to always be right? No. Who said that? You came to Earth in order to make a certain amount of mistakes. There it is. Once you complete those mistakes, once you go through them in some way, even if you don't pretend to learn from them, you come home, you're finished, you've done. What is the number? Well, of course, it varies greatly for each of you, but you make thousands of them every day, so the number itself is pretty high, many times. The reason we're bringing this up, dear ones, is so that you do not judge yourselves. Because that is the part that keeps people from opening their mouth and letting their truth naturally evolve onto the planet and naturally find its way into other people's hearts and onto the planet to make a difference with the collective. At this stage, dear ones, we also tell you all that you are incredibly sensitive to the energies that you see. This will get very difficult, especially for those in the United States during this current presidential election. For the very simple reason that this fight is going to be somewhat of a dirty one. It already is. Your definition, not ours. And in reality, very little is actually being talked about at this point about what a person can do, but rather who a person is or who they are not. It has become very personal. And all we ask you to do is be careful to not get wrapped up in that. That is the illusion. That is how people channel the anger, the frustration. They get you on their side and they move through it because they're frustrated too. They're angry too. And what we ask you to do there is something very important. We will even use one of the keeper's props. Vote with your remote. Not necessarily that you're voting for a person or for not for a person, but you're controlling your environment. That's incredibly important. So when you see something come on that you disagree with, or let's just say you don't want to go into politics at all, be responsible for your energetic field. Be responsible for what you allow in your energy that you see. And dare to change the channel. Very simple. Now, we also tell you that the way that your governments are set up, and most of the democracies on earth require you to participate in some way. Does changing the channel every time that you see someone or something that you don't agree with resolve that? No, dear ones, you're still responsible for putting your peace in place. Not only speaking your truth and bringing the light to the table and the face of planet Earth, but also of participating in your governments. You don't think we would say that, but that is how it is set up. And we tell you many of those who try to control do so in such a way that they want you to think you don't have a voice. Oh, what's the use? It's all corrupt anyway. Have you heard that? Do you feel that at times? Why should I even get involved? I won't make a difference. And those cases, dear ones, those many times that are intentionally trying to control the masses in many ways, which they have done over many years, win. They automatically win when you step back. So please don't think that this puzzle piece that you brought from home is only about spirituality. Now, what if you know nothing of politics? What if you know nothing about any of these things and you could care less? All we ask you to do is to speak, ask questions, see if you can come to some sort of conclusion, some sort of voting position that you would take in this, that'll make a huge difference. And there is no right or wrong about which way you choose. What is challenging for us to watch is when you have spent so many lifetimes bringing in this beautiful puzzle piece and then keep your mouth shut. That is a sadness that we see all the time. And if we could give every single human on earth one thing, it would be confidence. To speak your voice. And to be able to take responsibility for that puzzle piece which you brought from home and bring it out. Your light is needed now, more than ever before. Which way should it go? That's up to you. The light is up to all of us. Light does not take sides. It doesn't have a political party. It is light. It is when things are covered over that there is a shadow, that there is a lack of light. But that's why light workers are on planet Earth. To reflect, shine that light in places where the light cannot always exist. These are some of the greatest opportunities that you've had on your planet, and you're liable to see even more coming very quickly. Now we also tell you, dear ones, that you have help from the other side of the veil in more ways than you could possibly know. We've been telling you over and again that you have been raising the vibration, the collective vibration, not only of planet Earth, but of humanity, which is really just a vibrational range of planet Earth. And because of that evolution, everything must change. All your substructures must change. We hope that instead of going into a government which leads its people, that you go into a government which empowers its people. That would be very big steps toward the rebirth of Lemuria. Yes, that's what's happening. Lemuria never did sink, not in the way you think it did. The continent, the actual Earth itself, did sink. But the Lemurians ascended. And they're waiting for you. Some of them are directly related to you. But they're waiting for you to get this version, this multidimensional expression of your planet and your game of humanity to a high enough level to where they can interact again. That is coming faster than you understand. And you will have help. Will you all see it as help? Well, dear ones, you are so polarized on your planet right now. Any light from anywhere is liable to be seen as light and dark. It is liable to be misinterpreted and quite often go into fear with. You have seen this many times on your planet when messengers have been ridiculed or killed for their message. Happens many times. You are at one of these critical stages right now. So rather than send in one strong voice that will change your planet by the way that they do, we've given you all millions of them. You have hundreds of millions and yes, billion. You're approaching the magic number. Still not being talked about yet. But what is taking place, dear ones, is there is a magic number on your planet. It's a critical mass number. It is right at the 8 billion mark. And you're approaching it very quickly. What happens when you reach that critical mass if the vibrational status of planet Earth is not high enough? You miss a huge opportunity. Because what happens is it is taken the wrong way and it goes into fear. That's why you're here. To eliminate, to shine your light on the fear, which is the darkness. Fear always goes away with love. The same way. The darkness always goes away with light. You are workers of the light, each and every one of you. You've chosen to make a difference on this planet. Sometimes just by inspiring yourself. Sometimes just by watching a metaphysical program or a channel or a spiritual writings. All of those are perfect. But know that you also carry part of that puzzle. And we tell you, dear ones, if we were able to get 1/10 of those pieces on the puzzle, it would go together very quickly, very smoothly, very comfortably. There would be no challenges and very few wars to write about. Is humanity sick of fighting yet, or do you still wish to have more? We don't have a choice. We don't have even a vision about which is right or wrong. We watch, but we also see the incredible struggles that you go through when you wrap yourself in fear, when humanity starts moving in a direction of separation in all different ways. Look for the ways that you can combine this, and look for those opportunities, no matter how small, to bring your peace to the table. Now, what if you're working with your best friend over here? You love this person intensely, and sometimes you wish to impress them. So here you are, speaking human, trying to bring your part to the table. Does that mean that they can get offended? That's not your responsibility, is it? If you're speaking in such a way that leaves space for others to be in their empowerment at the same time you bring your empowerment to the table, then it's a discussion. And there's no right or wrong about any of it. And both of you can evolve to a place where at least you have a little bit of understanding of both sides of this. That is the next key. So when you bring your part to the table and you start putting your puzzle piece right down in the middle of nowhere, know that it's going to move. Know that you're not making a statement about this has to be here, or this is perfect, or this is exactly what I came to do, and this is never going to change. Allow yourself to evolve with every part of it, because we tell you, you have so much evolution right in front of you. The next 6 years on planet Earth are going to be extreme, rapid evolution. So much so that by the time you get to that 7th year and things start to slow down a bit, you'll get anxious because they slow down. You won't go, oh, now we can breathe. No, you'll go, where is that energy again? Why is it slowing down? We're starting to adapt to this and get good at this, and you will. Now, each of you have brought some little part here of understanding from home that only you could carry. It's why you're here. And we tell you, there is no one on earth that is just taking up space. You would not be here had it not be that you have a beautiful piece of the puzzle to bring to the table. These are the times, dear ones, your light is needed now. And that's the 3rd time we've said that. It is with the greatest of honor that we greet you in these ways, to hold a mirror up to you from home so that you can see a little bit of what that looks like from our perspective, and hopefully remember a little of your true spirit and your mission to planet Earth. You are workers of the light in the greatest degree. You've changed many planets. You've evolved many species. And here you are working on another one. Keep up the great work. So with the greatest of honor, we ask you to treat each other with respect. Nurture one another every opportunity. And play this new game well together. Spavo.